Hey folks, in this video I'm going to do a little unboxing and basically demonstration of this Brio World Deluxe Railway set. This is one of the larger sets that they sell. There are some ones that are larger than this, but this one's been available for many years now, and it's kind of the, I don't know the exact, well, it has the dimensions right here, 1130 by 730 millimeters, which is kind of funny that they listed in millimeters versus centimeters, I guess, but gives some nice round numbers. But anyways, it's kind of the standard size layout that would be, that they've made for many of these Brio and like Thomas the Train and similar type sets, so that they can fit kind of standard dimensions of wooden railway tables that are, so this is kind of those dimensions, and it's a really nice layout. So I'm excited to get this out of the box and show you guys what the layout is. Of course, you can make it any way you want, but the actual layout that they have pictured right here is a pretty nice one in my opinion. So, like I said, this one's been available for many years. They added this Brio World tag to it in, I guess you could say, recent years. I don't know, they might have had this on their products for several years too, but before that they didn't have the World part of this. But in any case, I think it's probably been around like maybe 10 or so years. I'm not sure. It's been out for a while. So being that it's been out for a while, it must be one of their more popular ones that sells well. And I think it sells well for a reason, because it's a very nice set. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and start opening this up. It does have this sleeve around it. So I'll just kind of show you that real quick. It's got a nice city-looking cityscape there with the set. This is kind of a little thumbnail image of what the layout looks like. You got some more kind of boring stuff on the bottom, batteries, replacement information, and that kind of thing. On the back here, you've got a list of all the pieces included, and then another picture of the layout, picture of this kind of Brio World picture here. Kind of just shows some of the other sets a little bit. So there's that. And then a few other sets there. So that's a look at this sleeve that goes around the carrying case. The carrying case that comes with it, I sort of like in some ways and sort of don't like in other ways. But essentially you just open it like this. And this is what we get inside. Got a few little cardboard pieces and things. So it flips open, and then this will actually fold down, and this is a bottom layout that you can set the set on top of. So that's actually kind of cool. The reason I don't, in some ways, like this overall box, this is kind of a little bit, thin, kind of, it feels like it's made of thin cardboard or something inside of it. Kind of easy to damage if you're not careful, perhaps. I would have preferred maybe just a hard plastic case. Of course, it wouldn't be able to fold out and be an underside for the track, but I wouldn't really care too much. I'd rather prefer a solid base. But anyways, that all said, we got to take a quick look at basically what they include for inserts here. And this just shows all kinds of other play sets and accessories, trains. There's a lot of Brio products out there, trains or otherwise. So, yeah, there's just a lot out there. This does have just one electronic train car that, let's see, it's got some lights on it, and I think it automatically goes back and forth and that sort of thing, so motorized. Then here we have basically one sheet that shows you the layout. So not exactly super detailed, but that's what we get. And it kind of spelled this kind of funny. Layout Deluxe set. There's no E at the end of deluxe, so I don't know, that's kind of funny. But anyways, that is included. So now we'll just kind of slowly take out the pieces, which many of them are wrapped in plastic, some are not. But I'm going to have to be kind of careful to pay attention to how I'm pulling these pieces out, because it is a very tight fit in here, and they'll have to be placed back inside, basically more or less precisely the way that I'm taking them out. So just kind of taking everything out at once here, all the different trains. And just all kinds of accessories that they have wrapped up in plastic here. And we'll pull this piece out here. Tunnel here. And we've got this piece, which has some other smaller pieces kind of on the sides of it. And all kinds of track pieces and things on the bottom. A lot more of the full wooden track pieces. A lot of ramps and straight pieces there. Let's see, we'll pull some of these out next. Yeah, just more track pieces, some of these straight roadway pieces and things like that. Some more track pieces along the bottom. We've got some trains hidden in here. And this is one of the larger pieces of the set. And then finally, just some more track pieces. And that is basically it. They have a little bit of cardboard protection in here. So I will go ahead and pull that out. But otherwise, that is the unboxing part of it. So this is what the inside of the carrying case looks like, and you can see that it's got some zippers to unzip here. So on all four sides. And then this will come apart just like this, and you can use this as to set your layout on, essentially. So I might try that for the video and see what it looks like. I know that I personally am going to prefer to not use it for that purpose, but nevertheless it is an option. Okay, so we'll continue with the unboxing portion of the video by opening up some of the parts. I won't open up all of them because, well, it'll just take too much time, but here's a look at one of the three of these arch bridges, which are quite nice. I like the style of these. And then got some smaller pieces in smaller bags. So let's see, we'll open that up real quick. Yeah, there's just a few small pieces there. Another little piece in here. I'll maybe not open that one. Let's see, in here we've got a little baggie full of little people in there and some other things. Got a little bus stop here, which is pretty neat. And then some more signs and people. I won't open up, some of those smaller things. Just in the interest of time, but let's see, we've got a few train pieces here, so there's a look at those, and actually got several more trains. I think this set comes with 3 trains total, and we do have a piece that's a little broken, but I bet I can just put that right back on, hopefully. So a couple train pieces there. And then one more train here. And they do wrap these rather nicely overall for protection. Some of these more plastic ones are not double wrapped, but this one, which has a few wooden parts, are. So that's nice. Let's see, what else was I going to open here? We've got a couple pieces here. So they put this little boat inside of the tunnel here. So, and again, it looks very nicely wrapped. So let me just go ahead and take this boat out. So here's a good look at this this boat. This is very nice. Very pretty, actually. And then we have a tunnel piece, which is mostly plastic, but there's just a couple wooden bars there for the aesthetic, I guess. But it is a, you know, this is a plastic tunnel. What else do we have? A couple cars here. Maybe I'll just open up one of these. And this one is the truck. So there's a look at that. Nice little truck. It does flip open like that, so that's pretty good. I'll just open up one of these. This is one of like, what is it, 7 support pieces. So here's just one of these for supporting track, and this is kind of a newer style that they have for these. They've had these plastic kind of rock wooden supports that they've been releasing with sets in recent years, probably for the past 10 or so, but these little attachments here kind of clip the track in place. They used to have it without that before, so that's kind of a newer feature. I kind of have mixed feelings about it in some ways, but it's not too bad. So there's a look at that. So another train piece there. Got a lot of track pieces. I'll maybe just open this one here, because this one looks like it has the mix of both the rail tracks and the road tracks. So we can kind of compare and contrast those just a little bit. So we've got your classic railway pieces, just a few of these short turning tracks there. And then they have some of these road pieces, which I think are really neat. Actually kind of reminiscent of Hot Wheels World, very similar style. So they have these. These are, well, I don't know how, you know, in how many other sets these are used, just a few, I suppose, but these are really cool pieces. So I'm glad that they included a few of these in this layout here. And what else do we got? Another sort of larger piece here. I'll just take a look at this, just a little kind of crane little feature here. So that's a neat little, just a neat little piece there. Let's see, this one, I may not open this, but this is just a few road and rail intersections. Those are all plastic. And then what else is there to show you? I guess the one piece, the couple pieces that are not sealed in anything because they're so large. Well, this one is the, basically like a train station piece. And so it's got your upper level here and then lower level over here. Be kind of cool if they had an attachment somewhere where the track would connect down here, but you could just run it up against it. So, but otherwise you can connect track up on the top here. And this does have a working elevator, which is pretty cool. So that's a neat feature on that one. And then the one other piece that is, you know, somewhat interactive is this, basically this transit hub here. So we'll pull the train up here. You can have the little people walking around and waiting for the trains. And the cool thing about this is if you twist this little knob, the little doors in the back open up and close shut. And they do so very smoothly, actually. It's really neat. So, yeah, so that's a quick look and unboxing of some of these pieces. I am going to go ahead and put this together. You'll notice that I've got the green piece in the back here. I'm actually not going to use that for the layout. It's just not very practical as I look at it. It's actually a complete square, and this layout is going to be rectangular and wouldn't fit over the entire top of it. And it's also rather lumpy, so you know, you could try and make a little smaller layout variant on top of that and have a little fun with that, but you know, it's just not going to be very practical. So I'm going to set this all up on the table here without that. So let's get into it. Alright folks, so now just a quick scan at all the different parts. Got the supports here, got all the track pieces, the roadway pieces, and all of the railway pieces, what the set is all about, the wooden railway. So those are all those pieces right there. It does actually have a couple traditional wooden supports in addition to these plastic rock-looking supports. Here are the trains and the cars included, so let's just take a good little look at those. So I already kind of showed you this little dump truck here. Also has this little bus here, and this flips open and closed to put a little person in there. Very nice. And then move those to the side. We've got a transport train, kind of like a like a bullet train looking thing. And this has a lot of movable little features here. You can put, well, it looks like you could put 5 little people in just this one train, and that is how many little people actually come with this set. Next, we've got another little 3-car carrier here with this one. And this one's actually kind of cool. It's got some flashing lights on it. And I have had this in the box for a long time, so the batteries inside this might be a little bit dull. I'm not sure if, maybe this is supposed to have the lights turn completely on when you move it. But either way, it's flashing, so that might be as intended, or the battery might be a little weak. I'm not sure which, but either way, that's pretty cool. And then last, we have this larger transport train, and these sections open up so you can put little things inside there. And so this is the longest train, and just basically, a big cargo train, so that's pretty cool. The only thing I kind of don't like, I guess, is that these trains are all very plasticky, and they don't really include any, kind of old school style Brio trains that are, more made of wood. So that's something that would have been kind of nice, just to have one more traditional train car set. But it is what it is. It does come with a lot of small accessories here. Like I said, it comes with 5 of these little person figurines. Got a couple signs here, some little transport signs here, and then these little pieces here that can be used on, let's say, the boat here. So you can use it for that. Put it in the dump truck here. You can do that. And, and you can put it in the train here and close that up. So a lot of different things for some of these little pieces here. And then finally, and I already kind of showed you some of these, so I won't go into detail about that, but we've got basically these larger pieces here, and then of course the 3 bridges there. So the last thing I was going to show you is this bag of bags that I ended up with after opening everything up. Can you guys believe this? This is how much plastic was actually around all of these parts. Now, I'm not really complaining about this because it protected all these pieces well in transport, so that was really good. But my goodness, I can't believe how much plastic is left after opening everything up. But as you saw, things were wrapped and then double wrapped in some cases, so at least that should help putting this back for storage when I put it back versus taking it out. So, because it seemed like a pretty tight fit in there. All right, let's put this together. All right, folks, so I've got the set put together just like the layout shows here. And the layout was mostly helpful, but, for some people I could see how this could be a little bit confusing because it's, it's just basically a picture of what it's supposed to look like, but it doesn't show you, exactly where the supports go for the bridge sections, and, other things could be, potentially unclear for some folks. But in any case, here is what we've got. So let's just take a good look all around at it from the top. And it's a nice, big, and very, very good looking layout, I've got to say. It's a really nice one. And with that said, let's just kind of take a look at some of the different features. Like I said, you've got the 3 trains, a little bit crowded. I guess if you're trying to just kind of, drive them all around. So usually I would just maybe just have one on here and the other 2 can kind of set off to the side. But nevertheless, let's take a look. So, of course, we got this one that lights up. So we can drive that around. And I've got the 5 little figurines here, so I guess we can try and put one inside here. Why not? So let's see how well they can fit in there. See, a little tricky to do one-handed, I guess. Let's see. There you go. You gotta have the head sticking out of the top of that one. So, but anyways, drive around. And I guess, well, that's not gonna work very well, is it? Look at that. So this one might be a little bit too tall, or maybe I don't have the person in there just right, but, well, I don't know. That one's a little tricky, I guess. We'll just drive the train through the tunnel here. And that is it's a very tight fit, but indeed it does fit. And bring that to the train station there. Meanwhile, we've got this one. Let's see, we'll drive this through, and I guess that's having a little trouble sticking there, but drive across, and maybe we'll see if this one's a little easier to put a person in. I don't know that it's going to be really any different, honestly, but well, there we go. Will that fit under the bridge? Not quite. Let's see, we'll take the person out. And these trains will go under the bridge perfectly without a little person in there. Might have to just, figure out if there's a different way that you got to put these in there so that they don't kind of stick their heads out. Maybe this person going in the front here would work a little bit better. Let's see. Very hard to do this one-handed. There. Not sure if that'll make much of a difference. Kind of. Well, anyways. Let's try driving up the bridge. I'll have to move this one out of the way. And we will drive over to the train station on the second level here. So let's get the person out. Maybe we'll try the elevator. The elevator has a little crank on the back here, so you can kind of just wind it up, send it to the second floor, and have the person go into the elevator there. And down to the bottom, where they can get into the truck here. Just like that. Then we can check out the little road feature here, which is kind of neat. There's not too much roadway included with this, but it's just enough to, make it kind of fun to, drive around a little bit. So you can kind of drive under that bridge there. And I like that it has these ramps here, so you can drive off each way if you wanted to. Really just this way, because this way goes right to the train station. But you've got the working ladders. And those work very nicely. And let's see. Yeah, it's kind of tricky to get the person under there. See, I'll just go like this. So we can say we drove the entire length of the road there. Maybe we'll drive this train this way. Kind of get it out of the way a little bit because I want to show you the other train here. Like I said, you can put stuff in this one, so maybe we'll drive this one around. And down here where we can maybe add another piece to the truck here. You can move this back and forth, so that's pretty cool. And drop it right in. Then maybe we'll say we'll back this one up, open this one, grab that, and maybe we'll put this piece into the boat. Now what I'm going to have to do is pick this one up. Let's see, open this up just a little ways to get it out of there. Pick that up. Now we got to move the train. And that way we can move this thing all the way over here and drop it into the cargo ship. Just like that. And lift that out. And bring it back. So that worked pretty smoothly. So there is that train there. We'll just drive that and park right there. And then I did want to show you too, just real quickly, this one here. So maybe we'll open the ladders here and drive this one across. Watch out for the people. Let's see, we'll take one of these pieces here, maybe put it here, and let's just demonstrate putting this into the truck. Something like that works pretty good. And then let's see what else is there here. So there's those are kind of the main features really. And you know, here we've got just basically a little train station where you can just have people kind of hanging out around there. Really, I should set these people up in all the various places here. Let's put maybe one at this train station and maybe another one down at the bottom. Then we got to bring another one over to the other train station over here. This kind of little transit hub. I just want to demonstrate that with a person here. So let's just have this person back here. I'll show you how the door opens. Have the person walk up the stairs and into the train station there. A couple little chairs where they can kind of pretend to sit down. Close up the doors. And then here comes the train. And then we can have the person hop into the train here. And again, well, we'll just do it like that so that the person can actually, you know, go underneath a bridge if needed. And let's actually do that. Why not? We'll just drive through here, up and around. And just do one loop around town here. Maybe another time through the tunnel. And we'll kind of end it with that, I think, because I've kind of shown you all the parts with it, and it's nice. What I really like about it too is it's a layout that it takes pretty good advantage of all the space. You've got the road that kind of winds its way through a little bit, and then the bridge section here. This is cool because, you know, it kind of winds its way around all of these features that are underneath it. And just in general, a pretty good layout that they have for this. I suppose the only thing that I personally might prefer, this area here, if this was going to be a true rectangular layout, is a little bit empty. Obviously that's, you know, this is kind of the area that the ship drives around. But, you know, if you zoom out a little bit, it's kind of empty there, I suppose. But like I said, if you had this on a little train table, this area here would be kind of your little water area that the boat is driving around on. So that was kind of what they were going for there, I think. But with all that said, here is just another quick look at everything. I really like this train set, honestly. I think there's a reason that this set has been around as long as it has. And that's just because it's a good layout. It includes a lot of, you know, really neat, you know, some of these little features with it. And, you know, most of these are available separately, or at least were available separately in various smaller sets. So you could get those and then, you know, those, if you combine those all together, you'd have more track than you have with just this one. But this is a good way to get, you know, all of these little pieces in one set, and then have them all with this kind of more compact layout, which is actually pretty large. So there's that. So yeah, like I said, I really do like this set. I think it's pretty cool, and good on Brio for having a, you know, a nice layout that's been successful for many years. So I think with that all said, I'm going to go ahead and try and piece this back into the box more or less the same way that I got it out, and we'll see how it all fits. Well, folks, here it is with all the pieces inside here, and it wasn't really easy to piece these all in here. I actually didn't really go back and look at the video of how I took everything out, because I wanted to kind of do it slightly by memory and see how easy it is to do without having, you know, that process memorized. And it really was a puzzle, honestly. So yeah, like I wish they would have made this just a little bit bigger, so a person who's putting this away wouldn't have to, you know, really play Tetris to get all the pieces to fit in there. If you can remember how to do it, then great, but otherwise it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. So that's definitely something I don't really like about this particular storage design. But anyways, we will pack everything up here and just basically put it away, more or less. So this is how you would pack it up. And if you decide to keep the cardboard insert that goes around it, well, then you can just kind of slide that around as well as you're putting it away, just like that. Kind of have to slowly do it a little bit, and there we go, and there it is. So now when you have it all in storage like this, you know, this will be nice and compact for the closet at the very least. So I'll give it credit for that. It's just hard to put everything back in perfectly. So, but there it was, the Brio World Deluxe Railway set. Just taking a look at it and everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.